He caught his wife with a coworker, but what he did next silenced them all forever. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm glad you found us. Hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Your support means more than you know. Now, let's begin. The return. Logan Bennett glanced at the glowing numbers on his dashboard. 8:54 p.m. He was supposed to be on a flight to Dallas, halfway through a 3-day business conference. But an unexpected cancellation had sent him home earlier than planned. As he turned onto Maple Lane, the streets grew quieter, more familiar, yet heavier with every passing house. The neighborhood hadn't changed, but Logan had. Pulling into his driveway, his eyes landed on it immediately. A metallic blue Aston Martin. Sleek. Flashy. Not his, but unmistakably the same one from a photo an anonymous sender had delivered days ago. His stomach tightened, but his face stayed calm. He'd prepared for this. He wasn't here for chaos or drama. He was here for the truth. Logan stepped into the home he'd shared with Meredith for 28 years. The woman he'd built his world around, raised a daughter with, shared countless mornings and quiet midnights beside. But tonight, the air inside felt cold. Foreign. Following the sound of soft voices down the hallway, he stopped near the dining room. Laughter, light, playful, intimate. Meredith's voice, warm and tender, the way she used to sound only for him. And then another, male, smooth, confident. Nolan Pierce, a younger associate at her firm. Ambitious. Reckless. Too charming for his own good. Logan stepped into the doorway without a word. The laughter stopped instantly. Meredith froze mid-sentence, her face turning pale, eyes wide with shock. Nolan looked like a man who'd seen a ghost, or worse, his own reflection in the wrong moment. "I thought you were in Dallas," Meredith stammered, scrambling for an excuse she didn't believe. Logan didn't answer. He pulled out his phone, unlocked it, and handed it to her. Photos. Messages. Timestamps. Every secret she thought was hidden laid bare. Evidence collected by a private investigator. Precise. Undeniable. Her hand shook as she scrolled. Her expression cracked, guilt washing over every inch of her face. Logan's voice was calm, almost detached. No more lies. No more pretending. It ends tonight. Then he turned and walked out, no shouting, no anger. Just finality. The unraveling. By morning, Logan was already meeting with his legal team. No arguments. No hesitation. Just clarity. It wasn't rage that guided him, it was precision. A meticulous, surgical response. The prenuptial agreement they'd signed years ago, the one Meredith had brushed off as a mere formality, turned out to be flawless. When she finally tried to reach Logan, the silence that greeted her wasn't hesitation. It was deliberate. Calculated. A week later, a scheduled video conference shattered the last of her hope. Meredith logged in expecting reconciliation, maybe an emotional plea. Instead, she saw Logan, flanked by 2 top-tier legal experts, both renowned for handling high-value divorces. And then another face appeared. Nolan. Disheveled. Drained. Unprepared. What followed was cold, precise, and devastating. Logan laid out the consequences one by one. Meredith was being removed from the company's board. Her executive rights revoked. All shared assets divided strictly under the prenup, heavily in Logan's favor. The mansion, the beach villa, the investments, all gone. She pleaded, claiming it was a mistake, a meaningless affair. That Nolan had been nothing but a fleeting distraction. The lawyers didn't react. And Logan, he didn't raise his voice once. He simply said, "I gave you my loyalty. You repaid me with deceit." Then he turned to Nolan. The younger man began to speak, but Logan lifted a hand, stopping him. "You knew she was married. You worked beside me. You knew who I was, and you still did this." Nolan stammered, insisting it only happened once, a moment of weakness. But Logan calmly opened another folder, filled with evidence of Nolan's other affairs, women from the firm, the neighborhood, even a mutual friend. The call ended. The screen went black. But Logan's reckoning wasn't over. 3 days later, Nolan received another video call. He hesitated but accepted. This time, there were three faces: Logan, Nolan, and Rachel Pierce, Nolan's wife, a respected pediatric surgeon, mother of his two daughters. Her expression was unreadable. Logan turned to Rachel and revealed everything: the messages, the photos, the lies. And with a voice heavy with sorrow, not fury, he said, "You deserve the truth. Every part of it." Rachel listened quietly. Then, with no tears, she looked at Nolan and said, "I've already filed for divorce. I don't recognize you anymore." Nolan's world collapsed into silence. But what none of them knew was that Meredith had secretly joined the call. No video, no mic, just watching. And as she saw Nolan crumble, the reality hit her like a wave. She had thrown away her marriage, her dignity, her family for a man who saw her as nothing more than a passing thrill. Weeks passed before she gathered the courage to reach out to her daughter, Haley. No reply. Then one afternoon, a message appeared. From Logan. A simple invitation to a final video call. She joined, expecting him. But it wasn't Logan. It was Haley. Her eyes were tired, her voice steady. "I know what you did," she said flatly. "And I don't want to talk about it. I just wanted you to know I'm getting married next month. And you're not invited." Meredith's voice broke. "I'm still your mother." "No," Haley replied. "You were. Now you're a stranger." Tears streamed down Meredith's face. Haley's tone didn't waver. "Dad didn't just lose a wife. I lost the woman I admired. And I can't ever get that back." The call ended, and a new chapter began. Soon after, Logan made an unexpected move. He stepped down from his position, giving full control of the company to Haley, saying, "It's time for the next generation, one built on truth." But his story didn't end there. Logan used his fortune to create something meaningful, a foundation dedicated to helping people heal from betrayal, emotional wounds, and broken families. Therapy, legal guidance, a safe space for recovery. He turned his pain into purpose, his heartbreak into hope. Because for Logan, this was never about vengeance. It was about clarity, forgiveness, and rising above without hate. He didn't just close a chapter. He began a legacy. And that's how one man transformed devastation into strength and truth into light. If this story touched you, if you felt that kind of pain, share it. Subscribe. Because healing begins with honesty, and honesty always finds the light.